let's continue. This is part 4. List of film accidents. We're going to start off where we ended last time. So we're going to start off in 1980s. The Dukes of Hazzard, 1980. Assistant cameraman Rodney Mitchell was killed, and 8 other crew members were injured when their camera truck flipped over while rehearsing a chase scene. Kaliakam, Shockwave, 1980. Indian actor Jayan was killed during a stunt scene where the helicopter he was on crashed. Magnum P.I. from 1980. Cameraman Rob Vanderkar was killed in a helicopter crash while filming an episode. The Young Master from 1980. Jackie Chan nearly suffocated when he injured his throat while filming a stunt scene. The Cannibal Run from 1981. Heidi von Beltz. Heidi von Beltz was left a paraplegic after being thrown from her car during a crash. The Five of Me from 1981. Camera assistant Jack Tanberg was killed when he was struck by a driverless stunt car during filming of this TV movie. For Your Eyes Only from 1981. While filming a high-speed chase in the bobsled run, the 4 men bobsled came out of the run at the wrong place and hit a tree. One of its occupants, a young stuntman named Paulo Rigon, was killed. In the scene where James Bond and Melina Havelock are dragged across the ocean, the stunt doubles for both characters suffered cuts and lacerations when their backs scraped up against the coral reef of the Bahamas. Roar, 1981. While filming a high-speed chase in the Roar, 1981. A film about a wildlife preservationist whose family came to visit him only to be met with his cohabitants, his vast collection of wild animals, which unfortunately attacked the film crew and actors who had to work alongside with, leaving over 70 of them injured on the set, including cinematographer Jan de Bont, who had his scalp lifted by a lion, resulting in 220 stitches. Lead actress Tippi Hedren fractured her leg and also had scalp wounds after being bucked off by an elephant while she was riding it, in addition to being also bitten in the neck by a lion and required 38 stitches. Melanie Griffith, Hendren's daughter, was also attacked, receiving 50 stitches to her face. Because of the injuries on the set, crew turnovers was high, as many never returned onto the set. John Marshall was bitten by one of the lions and required 56 stitches. Oh my gosh. The Sword and the Sorcerer from 1981. Stuntman Jack Tyree was killed while doing a high fall stunt at Griffith Park in Los Angeles. While performing a 78-foot fall in heavy costume and makeup, Tyree struck his airbag off-center, resulting in a fatal impact. Dragon Lord from 1982. Jackie Chan injured his chin during a fight scene, making it difficult for him to say his lines and direct the film. First Blood, 1982. In the scene where John Rambo jumped off a cliff and used a tree to break his fall, Sylvester Stallone broke several ribs after filming the scene 3 times. He also suffered bruises to his back after 19 takes of the jail scene where Deputy Art Galt, played by actor Jack Starrett, clubbed Rambo with a nightstick. Pink Floyd, The Wall, from 1982. During the filming of the scene for the song One of My Turns, in which the main character tears apart his hotel room, singer-actor Bob Geldof injured his left hand while ripping off pieces of a wooden closet door. He can be seen briefly looking at his hand. Later in that same scene, he is then seen with a shirt wrapped around the injured hand. World War III from 1982. During filming for this made-for-TV movie, director Boris Sagal was fatally injured when his skull was fractured as he walked into the tail rotor blade of a helicopter. Untitled Australian TV commercial from 1982. Cameraman Gary Henson and 2 others were killed in a helicopter crash. Cooley from 1983. While filming a fight scene with Puneet Isar, Amitabh Bachchan was critically injured when he jumped over a table and the corner of the table struck his abdomen, resulting in a splenic rupture and blood loss. Filming was delayed for several months for Bachchan to recover from his injury. High Road to China from 1983. During filming in Yugoslavia, a helicopter crashed en route to location. All three on board helicopter pilot Nigel Thornton, stunt pilot David Perrine, and mechanic Jason Anderson were killed in the crash. Midnight Spares from 1983. Focus puller Davis Brostoff was killed when, during filming of a motor race scene at Granville, Australia, one of the sprint cars swerved off the track and struck him, driving his body through 2 fences. The filmmakers were criticized for a lack of a proper stunt coordinator at the scene and for allowing non-stunt drivers to drive at race-neck speed. Never Say Never Again from 1983. Steven Seagal, who was the fight choreographer for this film, broke Sean Connery's wrist while training. Project A from 1983. Jackie Chan injured his neck while shooting the film's famous clock tower wall scene. The Right Stuff from 1983. Stuntman Joseph Leonard Sveck died while performing a parachute jump, which recreated Chuck Yeager's escape from a stalling NF-104. In real life, Yeager's flight helmet had caught fire on colliding with the ejection seat's heated exhaust in midair. Sveck carried a smoke canister during his freefall to stimulate such a fire. However, this may have intoxicated the stuntman, causing him to lose consciousness as he failed to open his parachute and fell to his untimely death. The Twilight Zone, the movie from 1983. On July 23rd, 1982, Vic Morrow and child actors Micah Den Lee, age 7, and Renee Shin-Yi Chen, age 6, were killed by a helicopter during production when it was caught in the pyrotechnics that were flying low. It was flying low at 25 feet. The tail rotor decapitated Morrow and Lee and crushed Chen to death. The accident led to one of the most prolonged lawsuits in film history and resulted in some major changes in filming codes. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom from 1984. In June of 1983, while filming in London, Harrison Ford herniated a disc in his back, forcing him to fly back to Los Angeles for an operation. He returned 6 weeks later. Pepsi commercial from 1984. While Michael Jackson was filming a television commercial with his siblings at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles, a faulty pyrotechnic went off too early and set Michael Jackson's hair on fire, inflicting second and third degree burns to his scalp and body. Jackson sued PepsiCo for damages and received $1.5 million settlement, which he donated to the Broman Medical Center in Culver City, California, to establish the Michael Jackson Burn Center for Children. It is widely believed by unnamed sources that this accident resulted in Jackson's addiction to painkillers and obsession with plastic surgery, until his death in 2009. Cover-up, 1985. While waiting for an episode of filming to resume, actor John Eric Exum played Russian roulette with a .44 Magnum loaded with a blank. The gunshot fractured his skull and caused massive cerebral hemorrhaging when bone fragments were forced through his brain. He was rushed to Beverly Hills Medical Center, where he was pronounced brain dead. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, 1985. During filming in Cooper Pedy, Australia, where temperatures reached 146 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 crew members collapsed from heat exhaustion. Police story from 1985. During the film's famous pole sliding scene, Jackie Chan suffered third-degree burns on his hands and nearly broke the 7th and 8th vertebrae on his spine and dislocated his pelvis. The Protector from 1985. Jackie Chan broke his hand while filming a stunt scene. Rambo, First Blood Part 2 from 1985. During filming in Mexico, FX man Cliff Wenger Jr. was accidentally killed by one of the film's explosions. Rocky IV, 1985. Demanding a sense of realism in the boxing match between Rocky Balboa and Ivan Drago, Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren agreed to legitimately spar with each other. Stallone was airlifted from Canada to St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, California, and placed in intensive care for 8 days after Lundgren delivered a hard punch to his chest, causing his heart to swell and his blood pressure to exceed 200. Oh, Runaway Train, 1985. During filming in Alaska, a helicopter en route to location struck power lines and crashed, killing the pilot Rick Hawley. Armor of God from 1986. During the filming of a scene in which Jackie Chan jumped from a wall to a tree branch, Chan lost his grip off the branch and fell 15 feet to the ground below. He hit his head on a rock, causing part of his skull to crack and a fragment to lodge in his brain. He now has a plastic plug in a permanent hole in his skull and hearing loss in the right ear. Oh my gosh. That's from 1986. Vendetta del Futuro, Hands of Steel from 1986. During filming of the Italian science fiction action film in Arizona, a helicopter attempted to fly beneath the Navajo Bridge but crashed, killing the pilot Dan Nasca and Italian actor Claudio Casanelli. Maximum Overdrive from 1986. Director of photography Armando Nanmusi was seriously injured when a radio-controlled lawnmower used in a scene went out of control and struck a block of wood used as a camera support, shooting out wood splinters. The splinters were fired at Nanmusi's face, resulting in him losing an eye, and he sued Stephen King on February 18, 1987 for $18 million in damages due to unsafe working practices. The suit was settled out of court. Top Gun from 1986. On September 16, 1985, aerobatic pilot Art Scholl crashed his Pitts S2 camera plane off the Southern California coast near Carlsbad, and neither he nor the plane was ever recovered. The Wraith from 1986. During filming of a car chase in the low-budget science fiction action film in Arizona, assistant cameraman Bruce Ingram was killed when an overloaded camera car crashed on a mountain road. Full Metal Jacket from 1987. Actor Vincent D'Onofrio, who had deliberately increased his weight to 280 pounds in order to play the overweight Marine recruit, twisted his knee during filming of the boot camp scenes, injuring it so badly that it required surgical reconstruction. $1 Million Mystery from 1987. Stuntman Dar Robinson died in a motorcycle accident after a dangerous stunt he had filmed, and the medics on the set had been dismissed. Robinson, famous for his jumps off of Toronto's CN Tower, drove his motorcycle off a cliff and died. No Man's Land from 1987. During filming, Charlie Sheen was knocked unconscious when a squib that hardened overnight detonated at the wrong time. He sustained lacerations to his face and a loss of hearing on one ear that lasted 4 weeks. Okay. The Squeeze from 1987. Veteran stuntman Victor Magnotta drowned while performing a car stunt in which he drove the vehicle off a Hoboken pier and plunged into the Hudson River. He was pinned in the car and could not escape before drowning. Braddock, Missing in Action 3 from 1988. On location in the Philippines, a helicopter hired by the Cannon Group crashed into Manila Bay, killing 4 Filipino soldiers who were working as extras and wounding 5 other people on the ground. This helicopter accident occurred the same day the not guilty Twilight Zone verdict was handed down in Los Angeles Superior Court. Die Hard from 1988, Bruce Willis. He lost 2/3 of his hearing after firing a gun loaded with extra loud blanks from underneath a table. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988. During the famous rooftop scene, Ellie Cornell accidentally slipped and her torso was cut by a large nail. She lost a large amount of blood but survived, going on to continue on the film. Red Heat from 1988. Stuntman and director Benny Dobbins suffered a fatal heart attack while filming a fight scene in freezing conditions outdoors in Australia. The scene required Arnold Schwarzenegger and another actor to fight near naked in deep snow. Dobbins overexerted himself trying to install fan heaters in the snow to prevent the actors from suffering hypothermia. A Cyborg from 1989. While filming, Jackson Rock Pickney lost his eye during filming when Jean-Claude Van Damme accidentally struck his eye with a prop knife. Pickney sued Van Damme in a North Carolina court and was awarded $488,000. Gone in 60 Seconds 2. 1989, an unfinished work. Director, actor H.B. Halicki was killed in Buffalo, New York, when a water tower he was planning to topple fell, prematurely hitting a telephone pole that then struck him in his head. The film was scrapped as a result of the accident. Hired to Kill from 1989, Clint Carpenter was killed in a helicopter crash. The Return of the Musketeers from 1989. On September 20th, 1988, Roy Kinnear suffered a broken pelvis in a horseback riding accident and died of a heart attack the following day. The Sword of Tipu Sultan from 1989. The largest number of on-set deaths in film history took place during the filming of this Indian made-for-TV movie. A total of 62 extras and crew members met their demise when a fire broke out and they were trapped inside the burning film studio. Director and star Sanjay Khan suffered major burns and had to spend 13 months in the hospital, undergoing 72 surgeries during that time. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Well, I have a few minutes left for my 30-minute video. So I'm going to go on now. I'm going to start the 1990s and we'll finish it in part 5. 1990s, Back to the Future 3 from 1990. In the scene where Buford, Mad Dog Tannen, and his gang roped and hanged Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox lost consciousness for a few seconds. From being hanged before an extra realized he was legitimately being asphyxiated, and everyone on the set lowered his noose. Delta Force 2, The Colombian Connection from 1990. 5 people were killed in a helicopter crash during filming in the Philippines. The fatalities here were Jojo Imprali, the pilot, Jeff Brewer, an actor, Gotti Dancing, a cameraman, Mike Graham, a key grip, and Don Marshall, a gaffer. Oh, they were all killed. Armor of God 2, Operation Condor from 1991. Jackie Chan dislocated his sternum after falling off a hanging chain while filming a stunt scene. Bikini Island from 1991. Stuntman J.C. Curran was killed the first day of filming when a stunt fall off of a 55-foot cliff went wrong and he landed on some rocks instead of the airbag that had been placed for him to break his fall. The Royal Family from 1991. On October 11th, Red Fox died of a heart attack while rehearsing for an episode. Oh my gosh. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1991. Linda Hamilton suffered permanent hearing damage in one ear during filming when she fired a gun inside an elevator without using her earplugs. She also injured her knees from falling to the ground during multiple reshoots of her character being hit with a nightstick by actor Ken Gibble. Frustrated by Gibble's refusal to hit her properly, Hamilton legitimately knocked him out with a boom handle. During the escape scene, Arnold Schwarzenegger nearly broke some of his fingers while twirling his shotgun with one hand, while there was a shotgun with a lever loop lengthened to fit Schwarzenegger's hand. He mistakenly picked up a standard